and Dagger, Season 2, Episode 4 Thoughts. This episode is called Rabbit Hold. Another episode I love. Spoilers for everything MCU leading up to and including this episode. And the episode is rated TV 14, so will this video be? Let's dive right in. Actually, you know what, just wanted to briefly say, I'm not sure I really highlighted, I quite appreciate that when Father Delgado, you know, he resigned, he wasn't fired, but yeah, you know, he starts drinking again, which we know, you know, earlier in his life, that led to him drunk driving and killing a kid, and, you know, he was using, you know, this position is trying to help other, trying to help young people not make, you know, mistakes that stick with, you know, your entire life. And now that he doesn't have that, he's back to drinking. You know, very, very realistic. There's I forget what the exact phrase is, but there's something about, like, you know, addiction never ends. You fight it every day, or something along those lines. And, you know, obviously, if you have something that gives your life meaning, the fighting is easier. You've got better boxing gloves for that. So, to this episode, let's see. So I don't quite remember what the start of the episode was, but yeah, let's just go with Bridget and go character by character. So I don't remember what the first thing with her was, but yeah, this thing of, you know, she's bringing in, you know, these the trafficked girls, and one of them is arrested, and they're gonna say, you know, oh well, if she talks about the gang members, she's free to go, or something like that. You know, she'll get a lower sentence. But yeah, that really does show. I don't think it's an accident. I don't think it's random that the show has a female cop and her darker side talk about trying to stop sex trafficking, and one of the first things we see this male cop do, possibly the first thing he thought of to do when he saw that there were trafficking victims, was to arrest her for prostitution, something she was literally forced into, you know. So yeah, you know, later in the episode, Mayhem, you know, she has this line. I'm not 100% certain if we're to take it as, like, you know, feminist or like man-hating rad femme, but, you know, she talks about the power structures that men, you know, uphold, and women shouldn't help to uphold those, you know, because, I mean, on the one hand, she gets results, damn it, but on the other, she has done some bad things. She's killed people that it wasn't 100, you know, her trying to shoot Solomon, you know, that was completely unnecessary. Let's see. Very clever with the thing of, you know, don't I get a phone call? I will say the moment that he started looking around the police station, I was thinking, oh, is he going to try to Kaiser Soze his way out of this? And yeah, he spots, you know, wanted poster, calls, says, you know, the name's Tyrone Johnson. Just holy crap. Yeah. Which I feel is also like them, the show commenting on, you know, the system is definitely not perfect, even when, you know, like here we do have people trying to help, trying to make sure that these gang members are put away, but, you know, because of the false accusation against, you know, Tyrone, he's, yeah. And let's see, she's very patient that she, you know, she calls Ty to warn, and I mean, I feel like a minute passes from when we see the phone vibrate to when he answers it, but I mean, I don't know, maybe she's got a really great plan, because they do start charging, as soon as you make the call, not just from when the other person picks up. I feel like I've heard, but yeah, life or death, can spend a little more money. Yeah, yes, and when she actually straight up shows up to the, you know, yeah, let's see. Yes, he calls her and says, bring, yeah, get, I need more men. How many? All of them. And yeah, she tries to make the situation as non-violent as possible, but the other cop is like, Fuchs was unarmed. And I really appreciate, like, Adina, parents sometimes really make sacrifices for their offspring. She knows this is going to get her in trouble. This is going to make it significantly less credible that she was, just held hostage. I don't know. Are they going to claim... I guess they could suggest that it's like Stockholm Syndrome. Did we know when this episode first aired that was, not really a thing? I forget when I first heard that was not really a thing. Lindsay Ellis did an excellent video talking about that. Ah, crap. Which one was it? She was talking about Beauty and the Beast. I think it might have just been called Beauty and the Beast something something. And let's see, the I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. Rebecca Watson, Skeptic, also did a video on it. I think hers has Stockholm Syndrome in the title. Excellent videos. I learned a lot. Yes. Let's see, and that covers Bridget. So let's deal with Mayhem. So yeah, I really appreciate that, like, yeah, she continues to be this really dark force of nature, essentially. Like, as soon as she sees Tandy, she immediately attacks. Now, to be fair, she doesn't know that Tandy, was supposed to give up the daggers by, at this point in the episode, but that is still, and yeah, when Tandy says, I need your help, she's like, you had your chance, just, yeah, and flies off on the flying motorcycle. Now, let's see, then we have the, yeah, I quite appreciate her various reactions to, so apparently both her and Tandy can see. At first I thought it was only Tandy, but yeah, I mean, Mayhem is there for the second memory that the LP brings out. When Mayhem starts ripping off the shrink wrap, I just want there to be an outtake of Tandy going, "You are killing the resale value. What are you doing?" But yeah, like when she sees younger Tandy, baby Tandy, Bandy, sitting there, with the headphones on, she's not like, what are we doing, shouting and being like aggressive as she so often is. She carefully sits on the sofa, like very, very gently, like to not scare, this child. And I think, let's see, I'm not 100% certain where she is at the end of the episode. Connors jumps out the window. Sort of a, let's see, well, not quite a defenestration, certainly not a refenestration. And yeah, I did not see her in the church. I did not see her with Lurch. So I guess it's possible she didn't leave the... But then I guess Tandy could hypothetically go back in after her now that she knows. Yeah. I think that covers... Oh, right. Holy crap. I don't know how I almost forgot to say, but yeah. She tried to hang Connors. And she didn't just do it, like, once either. She, like, if Tandy hadn't shown up, although I don't know why she, like, took so long, because I feel like she could probably have waited down and like, waited yeah, tied the rope to something and then hid and waited for Tandy to come and try to cut him down and then attacked, instead of standing there holding the rope, being much less effective in fighting back, but okay. But yeah, like, is that what's called a mock execution, or is it torture? It's definitely like a, see, I can never remember. I feel like war crime is only if it's done during war, but it's definitely unethical, and yeah, I mean, the dark half of Bridget loved Fuchs too, I think, and hated Connors clearly, and I think that might be it. Not gonna do a section for Connor since I just said everything. Anyway, I do appreciate that apparently he's been terrified of Ty for 8 months now, and apparently they do feel you know, every second in there, because like the I suppose possibly not, but it certainly seems like the because like it's been hours since. Yeah, certainly it's not like, because she says, oh, I've been everywhere. That must have taken a little while. She can't have done that in like 30 seconds. So yeah, it sounds like she's had at the very, very least minutes, and certainly, yeah, the display that Connor set up doesn't feel like something that was done in way less than months. Yeah, that covers. Right, some excellent exchanges between Tandy and Mayhem. The thing about, the status quo I thought was interesting, because Tandy didn't get the help she needed from the status quo. So I don't know, is she not completely thinking through? I don't know, that might have been again, love the show. Occasionally the writing has these little hiccups. It didn't feel like she was the right character to be arguing in favor of the status quo. Does feel like Mayhem is the right character to be like, nope, status quo needs to be burnt to the ground. She makes a really good point. Sometimes the status quo lets girls be trafficked, because, yeah, this is not, this didn't happen like yesterday. Some of this has, been going on for a while, and the cops didn't find these girls. Mayhem did. And if she can find them, so could the cops have. Yeah, I think that does cover. Yeah, I like that both her and Tandy call, Papa Mystery. After he identified himself as Papa Legbet, I think it was something like that. Although isn't Legbet what you get if you add vowels to LGBT? Now, I think that does finish us off for Mayhem. I'll stay with Tandy. I've already said some of the stuff about her. I really appreciate how they handle her character on this show. Like, there are so many American pieces of media where they're either completely unwilling to have the conventionally attractive female character, especially if she has a very large role to play. She's one of the titular characters. She's a co-protagonist, co-lead. Either they'll be like, nope, we can't make her, she has to be flawless. She can't be dark or scary or anything. Or they'll make her just like a cartoon caricature of what misogynists think women are like. By this, okay, so this is completely off topic, but recently Maggie Mae Fitch did an excellent video contrasting and comparing both versions of the Wicker, both movie versions of the Wicker Man. Excellent video. I don't know why that came to mind just as I was talking about just completely unchecked misogyny. Just utterly random thought there. But let's see, yeah, this show, no, she, like, Tandy feels like a real person, and yeah, sometimes she gets in this, she gets to this very dark place, and yeah, she genuinely believes this is going to help, so she is trying to scare Tyrone, and yeah, like, doesn't take drugs for her to confront him in a very dark way like this. Although when it's drugs and a lack of hope and dreams, she gets, like, cruel, unnecessarily so, like, wanting to take it out on someone, including him. But yeah, like, it gets very dark, and yeah, like, this thing of, like, I'm not afraid of you. Kind of think you are. Yeah, I appreciate the brave front, Tyrone. I might do it too, but I don't. I think she might be onto something there. And yeah, this is not the first time she has thrown, her light daggers at him. It's just that, let's see. I don't think she's done it outside of Ivan's mind prison. But yeah, that is quite, yeah. And, like, obviously she's purposefully missing, which takes a really good aim, so I'm glad she has that. And yeah, she does manage to get him to open up to her, the portal, that is. And I really appreciate, just, I love how much the show, like, it doesn't do it quite as much as Legion, but not every show can be Legion. But this thing of going into other worlds or people's minds and stuff like that, just love to see it. So creepy, and, like, they're not trying to ground it in reality. This really, I mean, they don't say it, but I feel like, I mean, this is like limbo, purgatory, something like that, right? And yeah, like, it is this very dark void of like, I love when media is willing to get this, because, like, there were people, like, writing and calling and complaining and being like, you have to stop doing this, this is too scary, this is, because it's uncomfortable when you can't see the end of a place, when there's so much darkness, because it really does feel like this gas station is the only thing that is actually there. And I love that you don't just start at the gas station, you have to actually walk over there through complete darkness, Were the coins, was that people who didn't make it out, or maybe people who specifically did make it out? Because she got a coin when she gave up her dagger. That was also such a clever, I really love how they managed to make these, limitations, because otherwise, like, I mean, once you've got someone who can teleport, it's like, okay, where is the weakness? Like, how is this not just like a power fantasy and kind of boring, and we're just watching someone just sleepwalk through everything, all their problems? But no, and they didn't know that the teleportation was going to, and yeah, it was when she gave up the dagger, because when she used the dagger again, he could teleport again. So that was, yeah. Um, I I'm not 100% sure why the giving up the dagger, but I'm guessing it's something like, you have to show dedication if you want to actually explore, because, like, this is an amalgam of the minds of multiple people, much like a non-zero number of levels in the original Psychonauts. So, I miss that game. Maybe I'll play it a third time. But yeah, it is, yeah, Tandy gets to, Tandy is visiting this place and meeting these other people there, or not meeting, but seeing them again. Would it have killed Connor to shave? I guess they probably don't have razors in Limbo. And yeah, she's seeing these people, she's witnessing these old memories. What a privilege it is. And yet none of them thank her. And yeah, her conversation with Ty, and this explains Fuchs, which makes it really dark that Fuchs had to look the way he did when he died. Yeah. I appreciate that at least some of the blood that Tandy follows is clearly fresh. Yeah. And that when she finds, Ty as a kid, Ty kid? Ty child, he at first is lying down and it does look like, is he hurt? Is he dead? Which, like, yeah. And I think that pretty much. Right, yeah. Did just briefly want to say, yeah, the hanging, especially the way that she was handling it, and Ty Child at first looking like he's hurt or dead, and the abuse that the child Tandy hears. Yeah, this is definitely a darker corner of the MCU than we saw in the movies, at least by this point. Yeah, it's really still, by today, we haven't seen very much that was this. Maybe Deadpool and Wolverine. That one got dark. Yeah, let's see. I think I've said most of what I had about the interactions between Tandy and Mayhem. I did quite like, yeah, the various memories, and yeah, first it's the records are the missing girls, and then there's also Tandy, and we see that there was actually this kind of fighting even when Tandy was a baby. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Some people do have, like, other stressful things in their lives, but if you are not going to help take care of the baby, don't have a baby unless there's literally no other, like, obviously, sadly, right now, there's definitely, American women who are being forced to have their baby, but this was before that. If at all you have a chance, like, be honest with yourself. If you're not going to help take care of the baby, don't leave because, like, it seems like Melissa still also has to take care of him. She was the one bringing him coffee in that flashback, so he can't even make himself coffee, and then he gets mad at her for like dropping it, which, like, maybe she would, if she wasn't afraid of him, maybe if she wasn't so overworked, being a single parent in a married, relationship, maybe she wouldn't have dropped that coffee, but yeah. Yes, I quite appreciate, seeing, yeah, it goes all the way back to then, and and right, and in case someone says, oh, but he didn't hit her in that flashback, when he says, you need to watch how you speak to me, that is, like, just, yeah, completely unacceptable. I don't know if it technically, no, yeah, I mean, there's an implied threat there, so it is verbal abuse, just, yeah. And let's see, yeah, apparently one of the fights start because she couldn't find her keys. That's all it takes to set him off, which, yeah, again, sadly, very true. Yeah, very true of many abusive relationships. It takes absolutely nothing to set the abuser off. And yeah, I mean, I guess Tandy just blocked out these memories because she was old enough to form memories for, not the very first one, but for, I think, the second, certainly the third. So, yeah. Not my very favorite season of Blackadder. The right, yeah, one of the records is an acoustic version of "Hit Me Baby One More Time," which I don't know if I think that that's too on the nose as like a sarcastic use of, because like I feel fairly confident in saying that song is not about domestic abuse, despite the, hit me, yeah. Now, I did not think that I would be using the word creepy with the name Britney Spears, but here we are. That was very effective. I might have to like find that on YouTube and listen to independently from this episode. Wow, that was really really effective use of, yeah. And it is like, I do vaguely remember, I mean, not hearing it, hearing girls talk about it, back when it came out, but I feel like it's a bit more of a happy song, not super, yeah, downbeat like that. Yeah. Yeah, and like Mayhem, takes the record off and is like, that's enough of that, which I guess makes her, maybe she's like trying to cosplay as Clint Eastwood, and they're done with that particular take. And also just like, that's enough of that. There's a non-zero number of people just here on YouTube, if they're still around, who would say that you're lucky that Britney will even perform for you. Why did people make fun of them? Like, they were just expressed, like, it was a completely, yeah, people were terrible to Britney. I do remember that back then, and took way too long for people to come around on that. Anyway, I think that covers Tandy. Yeah, it was a great moment when she's like, I broke the rules, just, yeah. And yeah, Tyrone. We have the let's see. I think the first thing that happened with him. Let's see. I get, yeah. We have the. Yeah, I did already cover some of it, since it had Tandy. Some of it had Tandy. Some of it had Bridget. Yeah. When he goes to, yeah, on the phone with Bridget, and this thing of like, I mean, they don't know about the church. No, but they have your last recorded address, just, yeah. And, Ty processes that information. Like, they're gonna go after, the where they go, my mom is, and he has to try to determine exactly how upset he is that he never did get that yellow Ultra Mega Man. And yeah, he teleports in. I will say, at first I did fall for the misdirect. I thought that it was the first gang member that had gotten there. Not sure why he felt the need to just show up. Like, I feel like he could have like texted or called or something. What did she change her number? That feels rough. But thankfully she does not shoot him. And yeah, I appreciate we see a little bit of her, like, more law-breaking side. She's, I suppose her trying to clear his name isn't law-breaking, but she's, she starts a car without, yeah. And him thinking that he can teleport her out of there, and then the reveal, nope, that's not gonna work because of the other side of the coin. because they're connected. And yes, so we have the yeah, that was a slightly amusing little moment. What are you doing? Just yeah, because he did think that that was going to work, and I think that covers. Yeah, very clever of her to kickstart the alarm like that, and yeah, they don't seem to drive for very long before the cop. But yeah, the bolo, they didn't know, and yeah, that is unfortunate. And let's see, and it's one of those things that where police will be so convinced that they have the right person that they actually miss something, you know, yeah, like maybe they could have been part of stopping the gang, but instead they're gonna obsess over, you know, yeah. And let's see, I think that pretty well covers. I mean, I realize that, a lot of the cops think that he's a cop killer, and now I want to listen to that rap song. But I mean, I've never heard of. I didn't even know. Is there a rap song called "Cop Killer"? That's news to me. But I don't approve of it. Obviously, as I've said in other videos, violence should be the absolute last resort. But I do appreciate police brutality is going to engender a certain animosity from a number of African Americans. That's all. Now, I think that does cover. Let's see. Yeah, so that gets them to the convent, and we're told about the legend of the vampire. Yeah, I thought this episode yet again, like this entire show so far, has done such a good job intercutting. We have the legend being explained by Ty, and they do a great job. Like technically, this is it's not really furthering the plots. So it's world building. It's thematic. But because it's intercut with Tandy and Bridget Mayhem, and with the gangsters and such, it's not boring for a fraction of a second. He's telling of the legend, and Mayhem is talking about how these are different, you know the way that these girls are disappearing. I appreciate that they haven't explained that yet. This is one of those things, like, once you introduce something like that, we're gonna be really, we really want to see the answers to that. But, this is episode 4. There's, what, 6 episodes? Yeah, I feel like that's gotta be right. And, let's see. Yeah, this was a deeply compelling episode, and by the end, Connors is back. This is going to mean that they might be able to clear Ty's name, although they're gonna have to catch him first. And yeah, just really, really excellent exchange. Intercut scenes there. And let's see, we have the. I am not entirely clear, because, like, does Tandy think... Certainly at the start of the episode, she seemed to think that it was inside Ty. She says, how did, Mayhem went inside of you? And he said, no, that's not what happened. It's more like I opened a portal. I saw the sign, I opened up the door, she went through... but when Mayhem is saying, like, who would who would make a place like this or something like. Or is it supposed to be Connor's? But does he even know? I guess he could be involved, but he's clearly not running it anymore since he's been there for 8 months. But no, I mean, Tandy's memories are there, and he doesn't know anything about that. So no, I feel like that was implying that, and I could see this making Tandy wonder about Ty, because he might be a terrible liar, but he has been lying to her. And when Adina said, who's been telling you the story, I did think he was going to say Tandy, but Evita makes a lot of sense. And the thing with, so how many tours have you taken? That's not for you to worry about. Think I'm going to worry about it. Yeah. You had to see that coming. Like, you can't possibly have thought you could tell your mom that you've been spending time with, yeah, obviously she's gonna assume. So, and I like the thing with, it wasn't that white girl who was, Tandy. I don't like her. And, at first I thought it was just like, because of the way she talked, which I talked about in my video on that episode, so I'm not going to reiterate, but no, she did notice that the, access card was missing, and, Ty tries to cover, and yeah, Dina's not buying it. Does that just about cover? Right. I just realized I forgot about so I know what it's called in Danish, but I forget the public transportation that they use. I forget what it's called in English. But that was quite tense, and Solomon following them was, and when Solomon catches up to them and is like pointing a gun, it's just like, you just want him to put it down, and thankfully eventually he doesn't end up firing, although it does take, he doesn't, not, it's not right away that he does. And I quite appreciate, both Ty and Adina try to protect the other, and both of them try to, like, appeal to him. I know you're a good person. I saved your life. You're better than this. And her being like, listen, son, don't think that you can just walk back into my life after this many years. I have a life. I have a wife. And, he's like, you're not my mom. No, but you have a mother. Actually, I don't. Oh, great. You made it awkward. But she points out, your mother would not want you doing this. She would want you to have a happy life, and this is not how that's going to happen, And let's see. Yeah, clever to get rid of the gang by, calling in the cops, the bigger gang, I suppose. And yeah, this thing, like, I mean, I know I already mentioned it, but that really was chilling when we see, the SWAT team, and it's like, no, but, he's unarmed. Yeah, so is Fuchs, and just, holy crap, they're not there to arrest. That's, yeah. And, yeah, Ty tries to use the, yeah, when Tyrone attempts something, it's technically a Ty try. He tried a tri-tip once, and yeah, he thinks, maybe if I put the hood up, maybe I can teleport. Nope. And I honestly wasn't sure how he was going to get out of it. I did spend several seconds thinking, we're not even going to see it, are we? It's going to cut to credits before we see it. But they did show how he gets away. And yeah, just really love this episode, really love this show. I am not sure I'm going to be able to do an episode tomorrow, but I'll definitely try to make Thursday. it's going to be difficult to wait if I don't, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. But really, really looking forward to more. I am really, really glad that Connors is not just like completely out of, because I honestly wasn't entirely sure we were gonna see him again after the season 1 finale. But yeah, I mean, it really is that it's such a great element to bring him back, because it's possible that he could be part of clearing Tyrone's name, though obviously he's not gonna be stoked to do that. But he's also a serious threat. And he knows the church. Oh no. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see the next episode. Holy crap. Oh, yeah. They've done such a good job on most of these shows. Like, so far, really, Inhumans is the only one that I didn't think was, the rest of them I've absolutely loved. Um, I am not 100% sure how I'm going to feel about, hopefully I'll be able to do Hellstrom, MODOK, and Hitmonkey. They definitely seem interesting.